Standing desks have become kind of a staple in the modern office, especially at home, with health benefits that can include things like better posture, improved productivity, and as a physical therapist and a longtime standing desk worker myself, I've got some perspective to share with you about the pros and the cons of standing desks, including both homemade standing desks like the one that I have right here, and even manufactured standing desks like the first one that I personally bought from FlexiSpot a few years ago. And well, I will say this, FlexiSpot is the sponsor of today's video, and they've given me a desk to review, but it doesn't change the pros and the cons of using a standing desk, so I'll be using some research to support the pros and the cons in this video. All right, so let's start with the good stuff, the pros to using a standing desk. First thing is that it keeps you out of your chair, and this is especially important if you sit day after day in a chair at work, because your body may start to ache and ask for a change. And we know that prolonged sitting can be linked to premature mortality, metabolic illness, and even cardiovascular disease. And while there's no true substitute for light exercise and walking, standing desks allow you to stand up and stretch your muscles and can really reduce low back pain discomfort. According to this study, transitioning from a seated to a standing work posture every 30 minutes across the workday led to significant reduction in fatigue levels and lower back discomfort in overweight and obese office workers, while maintaining work productivity. Decreased fatigue, less back pain, it sounds like a pretty good benefit, but that's not the only positive thing about standing desks. Number two is that it allows for a variety of postures, because it's not really sitting that is so bad for you. Instead, it's that prolonged sitting or just a sedentary lifestyle that's often equated with smoking in terms of its detrimental effects. And for a lot of people, sitting can just feel like a dead end. There's nowhere to go, whereas standing is kind of a gateway to posture variability. You can stand up, go for a walk, do a little stretching, all because you're standing at one of these tall desks. I like these height adjustable standing desks like this because it allows you to vary your posture from sitting to standing with a real easy click of the button. Now, some standing desks like this one from FlexiSpot, they've got programmable settings that quickly adjust to multiple heights so that you can vary your posture throughout the day without guessing which height you were the previous day. It shows you on the display how high each setting is, and you could pre-program that for your sitting and standing postures. And while I have personally purchased my own standing desk from FlexiSpot, they did send me this E7 Pro standing desk for me to do a review, and I did that a while back, so you can watch that video up there. I'll link to it in the description as well, but I'll reference this desk again because I think it has some really great features to consider when purchasing a standing desk. All right, the third benefit of standing desks in general is that standing burns more calories than sitting. And that may seem really obvious, but standing is really more of an active position than sitting because your body has a chance to engage your back and your trunk muscles to keep you upright and balanced, which does burn more calories throughout the day. And it may only be about an extra 50 calories or so each day, but that can add up over the work week, and it can help to curb weight gain. Of course, walking around will burn even more calories, and you're definitely more likely to walk around if you're already standing up. All right, the fourth positive consideration for standing desks is the wide range of styles and the formats that these desks offer. Standing desks come in a range of styles and formats, and when it comes to standing desks, one size really doesn't fit all, because you can make your own standing desk like I did with this one right here out of a piece of white oak and galvanized pipe, but the height doesn't really adjust at all. And while it looks pretty nice, not everyone has the time and the energy to build their own desk. Now, you can just go buy a standing desk frame and then build your own top on top of the desk, which would be a super fun project for a lot of people, or you can go with a pre-finished look like this black walnut style finish that looks fantastic, has a super smooth surface for writing, and it's really stable. Because the last thing you want is a wobbly standing desk, which I'll admit that my homemade standing desk can be a little bit wobbly on carpet, but the E7 Pro standing desk from FlexiSpot that I have right here doesn't wobble when you're standing or when it's in the seated position. It's very stable whether it's on hard floor or carpet, and that's one of the main points that I recommend for people to look at, is that a wide base of support and it provides stability when you're using it, because the last thing you want is for it to have your computer or a workspace wobbling while you're working at it. Now, you don't always hear the dark side of standing desk life, especially from videos online, so I want to share a few ugly truths behind standing desks. And the first negative point is that most standing desks will have limited storage options. You're going to find that a lot of standing desks, or these height adjustable desks, they'll prioritize things like versatility over storage space. Now your standing desk may include a mini drawer, or you may even find one with a couple full-size drawers on it, but otherwise don't expect a ton of storage with most of these desks. The second negative point to consider is that standing desks are usually more expensive than regular desks. Now it's somewhat of an apples to oranges comparison because a standing desk is going to have a lot more components than a traditional desk, and that's why it's going to be pricier than that sitting equivalent. But if you want to improve both your ergonomics and your productivity and your posture, you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. I recommend that you start with a low-cost, reputable company, and you're going to find a lot of desk options in that $500 range. That's well worth the investment when you consider the benefits that we talked about earlier in this video. All right, and the third negative point that I'll cover is that poor posture and standing could also lead to back pain as well. Just because you got a standing desk and you're standing doesn't mean that all your back pain is going away. If you're standing like this and doing your work, you may start to feel a little bit of ache in your low back or even your upper back, and it's not any better than sitting and slouching. So having that posture variability, whether you're standing or whether you're sitting, is going to be key to using a standing desk correctly. If you get a standing desk and then you only stand for the rest of your working life, you're still going to end up with some occupational hazards, just some different ones. And that's especially true if you don't practice good posture or posture variability throughout the day. Your back, your neck, your knees, and your feet, they can really still become sore if you jump into a full day of standing without easing into it. My recommendation is to work up to 2 hours of standing per day over the next 2 weeks by standing at least 15 minutes each hour and then gradually increasing the length so that you're standing for an hour at a time with a few seated breaks throughout the day. Remember that, like everything in life, balance is best, and a variability of posture and movements throughout the day is a key factor to consider for long-term health, especially in the workplace. Ultimately, you as the consumer have to weigh the pros and the cons to determine if a standing desk is right for you. And there are so many types of desks, configurations, and accessories and styles out there. There's a good chance that you're going to find a workstation that will improve your productivity while minimizing the physical strain of a full day at work. So if you're ready to add a height adjustable standing desk to your workstation, check out my review of the FlexiSpot E7 standing desk in this video here. You can also find more information about the latest deals that FlexiSpot has going on right now by checking out the link in the description below. Hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.